are making it very, very difficult for me to believe that there is anything redeeming about this project whatsoever. Now, I am sure that we have all seen this viral clip.
That has got to go. My God, who wants that?
Yeah.
They actually have lead actors on camera in his clip from late 2022, but it's just resurfaced now, saying she's going to be focused on becoming a leader.
A lot has been said about the fact that Rachel Zegler is a leftist fruitcake, and she is, but she's also just a spoiled, entitled, narcissistic brat.
She's gone. Vanished. Not officially, but if you've seen the leaked rehearsal clip that's all over Twitter and TikTok, then you already know. Rachel Zegler may have just been quietly replaced as the lead in Evita.
But it's also really important to me that I share with you not only the really good, exciting moments, but also like the little blips where I just don't feel great. I think that's really important that you see me as a human being, because I think a lot of people don't. So I don't know. I want that disclaimer out.
We're not talking about a rumor. We're talking about a video, a real actual clip from inside the theater. One that shows a woman center stage rehearsing what appears to be Don't Cry For Me Argentina, and that woman is not Rachel Zegler.
Video is gonna get taken out of context, and I know that at this point I can't really stop people from doing that, because that's what my whole existence on the internet is just me being taken out of context and stuff.
At first glance, it seems subtle, but fans picked it apart frame by frame. The voice is different, the body language is off, and even though the footage is blurry, one thing stands out. The lead is shorter, her hair is styled differently, and she carries herself with a completely different energy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Rachel, you got time to sign some autographs for us, Rachel? Rachel, please. Rachel, you got time to sign some, Rachel? Maybe on the way out?
It didn't take long before the internet exploded. Side-by-side breakdowns, conspiracy theories, and comment sections flooding with speculation. Some say it's just an understudy. Others are convinced it's the production's way of quietly testing a permanent replacement without making an official announcement. Because here's the thing. Rachel hasn't posted. She hasn't shown up to rehearsals. Her name's even been left off internal call sheets according to one alleged leak. And after her now infamous backstage meltdown, the one that reportedly ended with security escorting her out of the building, people behind the scenes are finally saying what fans have been whispering for weeks.
I'm like so ready to just throw my phone away. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen.
She may not be coming back. And the woman in that new video, fans think they know exactly who she is. But we'll get to that. First, let's rewind to how all of this started. Before the leaks, before the replacement, before the silence, when Rachel Zegler still was Eva, and everything was already beginning to fall apart.
Rachel was desperate to play Evita on. You know, it was her idea, and we saw an audition tape, and she was absolutely sensational. You know, she worked with our musical supervisor in New York on the material. Her versions of the songs were terrific. Jamie's excited, Andrew and Tim are excited. So, I mean, it should make for a fabulous summer at the Palladium. Ticket sales are already, through the roof. So we're really thrilled about that.
Just a few weeks ago, Rachel Zegler was being hailed as the bold new face of Evita, a big-budget West End revival with a powerhouse cast. Zegler, already known for West Side Story and the upcoming Snow White, was stepping into one of the most iconic roles in musical theater history. But behind the curtain, things were already unraveling. According to insiders, the rehearsal room became a pressure cooker almost instantly. Rachel was reportedly clashing with the director, ignoring stage notes, and pushing back on nearly every creative decision. One cast member allegedly described the atmosphere as tense, uncomfortable, and completely unpredictable. Then came the breaking point.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
Multiple sources claim that during a key rehearsal, Rachel completely lost it. Voices were raised, a throne prop was thrown, and the cast was left stunned, frozen in place as the energy in the room turned toxic. When one assistant director reportedly said, "Get her out now," security stepped in, not violently, not dramatically, but with quiet finality. Zegler was escorted out of the building, and she hasn't been back since.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses for movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
That moment, now infamous, sparked a tidal wave online. Fans were divided. Some defended her, citing the pressures of a demanding role and unfair media scrutiny, while others weren't so forgiving, pointing out that this wasn't the first time Rachel had been accused of being difficult to work with. Let's not forget the backlash surrounding her interviews during the Snow White press tour, the viral moment when she appeared to mock the original animated film, or the subtle but growing trend of Rachel being removed from press events, sidelined in red carpet lineups, and quietly excluded from Hollywood's inner circle.
In his video, Mickey Joe talks about all the different casting rumors because there was loads floating around online at the time, in particular Lady Gaga and of course Ariana DeBose, who had been rumoured to have been cast, and that production promotional material had been shot with Ariana in it, but then she had to step away due to work commitments. And what's really interesting is that she played Anita in Steven Spielberg's film of West Side Story opposite Rachel Zegler. So what are my thoughts on this casting? I think that Rachel's going to be incredible in this role. I think that her vocals are outstanding, as is her acting, and I think that she's going to really enjoy a challenging role like Eva Peron. I know a lot of people online were talking about they would like to have seen a West End performer maybe play this part, but I do think that Jamie Lloyd is looking at this production going to Broadway and is being very clever in his casting choices, similar to what he did with Nicole Scherzinger in Sunset Boulevard. Now, the person I would have liked to have seen considered for this role is going to be playing a role in The Great Gatsby at the same time, so is unavailable. You can make some guesses in the comments below, but I do want to hear who you would have liked to have seen considered for this part.
So, when she disappeared from Evita rehearsals with no apology, no statement, and no explanation, people began to assume the worst, that the meltdown wasn't just a moment, but the end. Now, with this new clip going viral, fans are asking the question nobody expected so early in the run. Did Evita just replace Rachel Zegler without telling anyone? What happens next will blow this story wide open. It started with a single video, just 15 seconds long, posted anonymously to a TikTok account with no profile picture and 0 followers. The grainy footage showed the Evita stage lit in deep blue, with a single performer standing under a spotlight. She was mid-rehearsal, singing what fans instantly recognized as "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." But something felt off. The voice wasn't quite right. The tone was softer, slightly lower, and had a different vibrato. Rachel's vocal style, if you've ever heard her live, is powerful and crisp. This sounded warmer, more grounded. But that wasn't all. Zoom in, slow it down, and it gets even weirder. Her movements were different, the way she held her hands, the way she walked across the stage. It wasn't Rachel's signature stage presence. The silhouette was shorter, her hair tied back in a sleek ponytail, not Rachel's usual waves. At this one point, she turned just enough for viewers to see a partial profile, and that's when the internet lost it. Within hours, the clip spread like wildfire. TikTok creators started posting side-by-side comparisons, overlaying Zegler's past rehearsal footage with the new video. Twitter blew up with fan threads pointing out every detail, from posture to footwear to a slight Argentine accent that definitely wasn't there before. One tweet with over 50,000 likes read, "That's not Rachel, that's someone else entirely." And then came the name, Camila. According to several comments and one now viral post from a supposed backstage source, the woman in the video is a relatively unknown actress named Camila Delgado, a rising talent from Buenos Aires with a background in opera and stage musicals. She's not a household name, not yet. But if this clip is real, she may have just been handed one of the most iconic roles in theater without a single press release. But here's where it gets even more bizarre. The production has said nothing. No denial, no confirmation, no, that's just the understudy. Complete silence. For fans who have followed this drama from the beginning, that silence is deafening. Because if it were just an understudy, wouldn't they say so? Why hide it? Why remove all mentions of Zegler from the show's official rehearsal highlights? Why scrub her name from the newest cast call sheet posted on the wall, a photo of which also mysteriously surfaced online the same day the video dropped? The questions are piling up fast, and the fan theories are spiraling out of control. If there's one thing the internet does better than anything, it's speculate. And when it comes to Rachel Zegler's rumored replacement in Evita, fans have turned into full-blown detectives with more theories than an episode of CSI. Let's start with the basics. The second that viral clip dropped, fans swarmed social media with questions. Was it really Rachel? Is she being replaced? Who is this Camila Delgado? Why hasn't the production said anything? One theory immediately took off. Zegler's gone. Camila's in. According to this camp, the switch already happened, and this wasn't a rehearsal with a stand-in, this was the new lead. Fans pointed to body language, voice style, and even the way she turned on certain lines. It was too polished for a fill-in, too confident for someone stepping in temporarily. Then came the understudy theory. This group believes Camila is just the backup, nothing more. But even they had to admit something was strange. Why would the production choose now, in the middle of a public scandal, to showcase the understudy on stage alone? A few fans went further down the rabbit hole. One user claimed to have matched Camila's voice to an old performance uploaded to YouTube in 2019, a university production in Buenos Aires, where she played Maria in West Side Story. If true, that would make her performance eerily full circle, replacing Zegler in not one, but two iconic Latina roles. Another thread picked apart the original clip's audio and claimed to have caught someone in the background whispering, go again from the top. The audio is muffled and low quality, but fans are convinced it's real. And then there's the Rachel in disguise theory. Yep, that's real. A subset of viewers believe Rachel wasn't fired at all. Instead, they say she returned to rehearsal in disguise, wearing a wig, altering her voice, and working with a vocal coach to reset public perception. Sounds far-fetched, but these people are dead serious. They claim it's all a PR stunt. Meanwhile, a Reddit leak claims Zegler was kicked out after trying to renegotiate her contract mid-production, allegedly demanding full creative control over choreography and final say over costumes. According to the post, this demand broke the trust between her and the director, forcing the producers to pivot fast. But the most popular theory? Rachel didn't quit. She was forced out. This one's gaining traction fast. It claims that following the security escort incident, the production team held an emergency meeting with the board. They allegedly decided to move forward with a softer lead who would reduce backstage tensions and improve morale. Enter Camila. The story goes that Rachel was told her position was under review, but before a final decision was made, rehearsals resumed, and she was simply left out of the schedule. No call, no warning, just removed. And the worst part? Rachel still hasn't said a word. No tweet, no statement, not even a cryptic emoji. For someone who used to post almost daily, that silence feels deliberate. It's that silence that has fans even more convinced something big is happening behind the scenes. And whatever it is, it's not over yet. For someone who spent the past few years front and center in the spotlight, from red carpets to press junkets, from viral interviews to daily posts, Rachel Zegler's sudden silence is deafening. Since the rehearsal clip leaked, she's gone completely dark. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no cheeky TikTok videos, nothing. That alone is adding fuel to the fire because Rachel's always been outspoken, sometimes to her own detriment. She's known for clapping back at critics, posting passionate defenses of her roles, and sharing behind-the-scenes photos even when PR teams wish she wouldn't. But now, radio silence. Her last Instagram post, still sitting quietly on her profile, is a black and white photo of an empty theater. The caption reads, "Sometimes silence is the strongest sound." That was posted 4 days before the leak. Fans thought it was poetic. Now, they're wondering if it was a warning. Some have pointed out that she's even removed Evita-related highlights from her Instagram. A few eagle-eyed followers claim that her bio no longer references the show at all, a quiet erasure that's impossible to ignore. Then there's her team. Rachel is usually backed by a vocal PR firm, one that's jumped into damage control before. But not this time. There's been no official statement, no Rachel is taking time to rest, no this is a misunderstanding, just nothing. That makes the timing of the viral clip all the more suspicious. Because if Rachel wasn't replaced, if this truly was just a misinterpreted moment or a standard rehearsal with an understudy, wouldn't someone have stepped in to clear the air? Instead, the silence is growing louder, and every minute that passes, without a word from Rachel or anyone on her team, only makes one theory more believable by the second. She's not just stepping away, she's been cut out. The public may be left in the dark, but behind the scenes, whispers are turning into roars. According to one anonymous source claiming to work on the Evita production team, Rachel Zegler's name has already been removed from the internal cast sheet. A grainy photo of that very sheet, taped to a backstage wall, has surfaced online, with her name missing entirely from the principal cast column. In her place, a blank space, or, as some fans claim, a handwritten CD scribbled faintly in blue pen. Could that stand for Camila Delgado? Another insider, posting under the handle Stage Whispers UK, claimed producers made the decision days ago following a closed-door meeting with investors. They felt the risk was too high to continue with Zegler. The post read, "Between the bad press, the backstage tension, and the meltdown, it became a question of protecting the show." Allegedly, the production had already been quietly auditioning replacements as a contingency, preparing for the possibility that Rachel might be out. For good. Well-known understudy or a last-minute replacement, she might be someone much more calculated and strategic. Sources say Camila Delgado, the woman in the clip, has been quietly building her presence within the Evita production circles for months, possibly groomed as the contingency lead long before the meltdown. An insider hinted that Camila's vocal training, professional discipline, and ability to keep a low profile made her the perfect candidate to step in when the situation with Rachel spiraled out of control. Adding to the intrigue, some theater. Insiders speculate Camila's sudden rise is part of a deliberate damage control strategy by the producers, a way to keep the show afloat and control the narrative without igniting more public drama. The legal whispers around wrongful termination only deepen the mystery, signaling this isn't just about replacing a lead. It's a high-stakes battle behind the scenes that could reshape how casting controversies are handled in the theater world. With the silence from Rachel and her team, the looming lawsuit, threat, and Camila's quiet but confident debut, the story is far from over, and every new leak or clip could tip the scales in this unfolding theatrical scandal. Have remained completely silent, fueling even more speculation. But Camila's sudden emergence is stirring a mix of excitement and skepticism among theater fans and industry insiders alike. Some see her as a promising fresh face ready to take on a legendary role, while others wonder if she's simply the industry's safe bet, a reliable professional brought in to stabilize a production in chaos. Regardless, Camila Delgado's name is now synonymous with the unfolding Evita drama, and many believe she could represent the next chapter in this high-stakes saga. Whether she becomes the official lead or remains a placeholder, her presence on that stage marks a seismic shift for the production, and for Rachel Zegler's once bright star. The theater world is watching closely, and with the story still evolving, every backstage whisper and leaked clip could tip the scales yet again. This whole thing feels like a gripping theatrical drama unfolding in real time, almost like the show behind the show is more intense than Evita itself. The silence from every side only heightens the suspense, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Camila. Delgado's sudden, mysterious rise juxtaposed with Rachel Zegler's vanishing act creates the perfect storm of intrigue, gossip, and legal tension. The production's hush-hush approach feels like damage control, or maybe a strategic play to avoid fueling the fire any further. The big reveal, whether it's Camila stepping fully into the spotlight or Rachel dropping a bombshell statement, could change the entire narrative. And theater fans, insiders, and media alike are holding their breath, waiting for that moment. So yeah, this saga is far from over. You're right to say the next act is just beginning, and it's bound to be a blockbuster. Keep me posted if you want to break down the next. Updates together. Top of form.